What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your week in review for March 23rd, 2020. We would normally start out with our patch notes, but a second week in a row, we don't really have anything to discuss there. But there was a post from Chad McKinney about 3.9, and it does seem like CIG is in a good position to be in a situation like this. So hopefully we'll see 3.9 sometime this week, and we'll be discussing it on next week's video. For roadmap updates, very similar. Not too much going on there. I think as CIG is sort of adjusting to the work at home scenario, where basically just a few major things, or just pretty much the major locations coming into 3.9 are all in the polishing phase. Now moving on to video updates, we had an ISC, and Jared starts out the show explaining that CIG is in that good position to deal with the crisis, and we're all, they're all pretty well equipped to work from home. But then he says this.
But one thing that won't change is that we'll continue doing our best work, making the best damn space game ever. And that's in office or at home.
All right, a few people have told me I'm reading way too much into this, but the fact that he said game and the way he said it with the pause made it seem like it was intentional. And if I know Jared, it probably was. And I think he did it so we would notice it. And is Star Citizen even a sim anyway? Has it ever been? So we'll touch it more on that in just a little bit. But after that intro, we move into the first major feature of the show, which was the new interaction system. And they first touch on the key reason of why we actually need this.
So the personal line of thought system has been quite a long time coming. We've wanted for quite some time to improve the way that the players interact with the game. There's only so many inputs available to us. So having a way of interacting with everything that's available to you and also knowing what's available to you is really important.
It's very important to understand that there are so many possible interactions and things that your player can do in Star Citizen that there are not enough keys on your keyboard to be able to handle it. So having this quick, easy access interaction menu to do all sorts of different things is vital for this game. So the fact that everything's kind of easy to access, even though you might have to get through multiple sub-menus to get to what you're looking for, you can get to it without having to scroll through hundreds of other keybinds. I think that this is a really good system, and the customizability of it is also important. So now that we know why we need it, let's see the basics of how it works.
To access the thought system out of the box, the input is you hold down F and you right click. And the thought behind that is that the existing personal interaction system, you hold down F, you see things around you can interact with. This though is a hierarchical menu, so the first thing you see is a number of categories on the wheel and a number of segments that you've been able to favorite. So let's say I'm in my bed, I'm just logged in, I bring up the wheel, one of the first things I'd see is actions. I click on the actions and then, player actions. I go into that category and then get out of bed is on that.
Now, all this seemed very simple and easy to use, but I really want to make sure that we take note of the thing that I found the most important here, and it's the fact that you can favorite certain interactions. So if there's an interaction that's in submenu after submenu and kind of difficult to get to, but you need to use it quickly, you can favorite it, and it'll be right on the front part of the menu right when you need to use it. So yeah, I think this menu is going to be really important and really useful, even though it does feel a little bit console-like for us PC players, which is kind of, I don't know, a little unnerving, I guess. It seems like the best solution to the problem that CIG has with all these possible keybinds. Now, every couple episodes, we get a sprint report to see what's actively being worked on right now by CIG. Now, there is quite a few things in this sprint report. I narrowed it down to what I found to be the most important to share with you guys. I'm going to leave a link in the description of the timestamp of when the sprint report starts so you guys can check it out on your own. So let's just jump into it. New Babbage is in polishing, as we saw in the roadmap, so they're completing little things like signage at the food courts and stuff. There's also this very interesting thing that is these hollow info panels that look very futuristic, very sci-fi, and a lot better than the current kind of building blocks things that we're using for elevators and stuff like that. They also worked on a few weapons, a new SMG, a new pistol from Lightning Bolt, and a sniper rifle from Lightning Bolt as well, to show the VFX possible concepts, as well as what it might look like when you take damage from these weapons. Then we had space whales, and I really want to make sure we touch on that and go all the way back to Star Citizen and it not being the best damn space sim ever and it being the best space game ever. And this is where I think some people may be like, oh my god, the sky is falling, but for me personally, this excited me more than anything. So to kind of combo those two together, gamifying Star Citizen doesn't necessarily mean it's making it more arcadey or less realistic. I mean, we have aliens that we interact with, right? So space whales aren't the most outrageous thing in the world to see. And the fact that it's gamified, if you really look at the details, these space whales have materials on them and resources that you can extract from them. And it's maybe like an endgame thing. It makes Star Citizen feel like they're making an MMO. That's what it feels like to me. And seeing space whales may have turned some people off, but it really excites me for the future at this point. And yeah, I that's really all I have to say about that. Let me know what you guys think about the space whales below. I mean, literally Reddit there was 5 space whale posts, was the first 5 posts when I went to it recently, and it was just like everybody's talking about it, and it's very interesting. So for me, I love the fact that Star Citizen is definitely following up with what they said at CitizenCon and focusing on the game. Even though we saw some, more, I guess, fidelity type things and immersion type things still in 3.9, we're with eating and drinking and all that, we also hear that they're working on space whales for the future. Even though it's a concept and it's probably very far away, just the thought of it happening makes it feel like one day I'm going to be playing an MMO. There also was an SCL this week. We're not really going to touch on that. It was one of the game dev SCLs, and almost never do we discuss those on Week in Review because they're usually just Jared and whoever, not really sharing any super useful information. As for other updates this week, there was just one. It's the sneak peek, which shows the prison system and kind of the menu that you're going to be using in order to see how many more merits you need and to leave prison. And it looks like a pretty useful menu, somewhat easy to understand, and a nice little sneak peek there. So, guys, I do apologize for the short video this week, but there really wasn't that much to discuss. There's not a lot going on with Star Citizen 3.8, obviously, and we're just kind of in that waiting game for 3.9. So, also, apologize for no answer the call this week because there really, I didn't want to go, oh, what do you guys think about 3.9 when none of us have really played it, and I don't want to just have people blindly discussing a patch that we really don't know that much about yet. So I was thinking about posting a video yesterday, but I decided to just kind of relax and focus on hanging out with my family and things like that. So apologize. ATC will be back hopefully next week where we have a 3.9 to discuss, and I think I have to focus on the future when things are kind of dead like this, to bring a content creator on and just kind of discuss things with them. But guys, that will do this week in review. Make sure you leave a like, comment, all that stuff below. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys next week.